Welcome to the Web3 podcast. I'm your host, Travis Rosser, and I'm so excited you're here to learn more about Web3 and how it's going to change your business. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Web3 show presented by Onemint. Today, Fernando's with me, and we have the opportunity to interview an artist who has an incredible YouTube channel. His name is Lawrence Mann, and his channel is called The Lawrence Can Draw. Is that right, Lawrence? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Awesome. You know, and he is, first of all, he's incredibly talented. His stuff, we're going to talk about some of his stuff, so I'm going to really encourage you to go check it out. But he also is an expert at technology. So if you're trying to figure out what kind of tablet or any kind of digital artist, you know, fun tech, he's the guy to go to. So Lawrence, thank you for coming on the show today.
No worries.
Awesome. We're excited to dive in. Now, we were talking before we started, your last name is Mann, and you were telling us that if someone has the last name Mann, it always has two N's.
Yeah, I've never met or come across or heard about anyone with one N. And the reason for that is it's a Norse name, and it's a shortened version of that, basically. There's a lot of people in Germany who have the last name of Mann. You often hear of people who have like they'll have like a second name with something like Spellman, and that has two names, two N's on the end as well. But that's like the joining of two families. So it'll be, you know, a family of Spell and a family of the Mann family that come together, and that's why you end up with that. But you know, it's obviously two N's in that name. So.
And you were saying, where did it come from? What was the Nordic word that it came from?
It's like Mana.
Mana.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not sure on the exact, you know, pronunciation of it, but yeah, it basically means strong man. And the signature that I've started using on my NFTs now, it's not the same signature I use on all my artwork, but the signature I've started to use on my NFT artwork is basically the symbol for that name. It's a symbol for that word, and it basically means strong man. And if you look in kind of the Norse alphabet, it's the symbol that has been taken to basically mean the letter M as well.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm looking at one of your pieces that hopefully we can show, because I know this isn't out yet. And first of all, it's incredible, and the symbol is so iconic the way it's kind of hidden in the design. I would have never known that that's what that meant. I thought that was part of.
No, it's just where my brain works, and I like to hide lots of things, and there's always lots of tiny little details in there that nobody but me will ever know.
Awesome. We'll get to this collection in a second. Go ahead, Fernando. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I dare to say that Lawrence art it's among the best in the industry, at least NFT wise. Because when you go around different collections and you see all of these artists just drawing and creating, you can find pretty good stuff out there. But the level of details and symbolisms behind, like, you can tell it's like something that is well thought of, right? And there's quite a background behind it. But yeah, I'm quite impressed too.
You know, and let's talk about that. When did you first come across NFTs? What was your first exposure to the NFT space? And then I want to dive into your work for sure, because I have so many questions about the piece I'm looking at right now. But why don't we start with that? When did you first?
I first came into NFTs in about 6 years ago. Back then, the idea of an NFT was basically a piece of artwork, what people were talking about then was more the idea of AR. So, you know, the ability to scan a piece of artwork, you know, with a QR code, something like that. And then the idea of a 3D piece or an animated piece popping up once you'd scanned it with an AR code. And I love the idea of that, but I don't do that much animation. I don't do any 3D stuff. So for me, it was like, I love the idea of this, but it's not for me. At that time, there weren't any chimps around. At that time, the idea of just selling a single image for, you know, coin, just if somebody would have said that people would have gone, nah, it's never going to work.
Yeah.
So realistically, at that point, it was just, you know, I can't get into this. Maybe later on. But yeah, I knew something was there. I knew it was exciting, but I just didn't have an entry point at that time.
Interesting. You know, and it's as I look at this piece, are we allowed to talk about the piece that this you know, that's coming out soon, the dynamic piece? Or is it kind of under wraps? Are you going to reveal it in the future, or what is the kind of the plan for the one that has the M on it?
My piece?
Yes.
Yeah, talk about it. Talk about it.
So
All you want.
does it have a name? It's basically, I'm looking at this incredible like digital sketch of an alien. And
The collection's going to be called AlienNFTnetwork.
Yeah, it has so much story behind it. Like someone told me that an NFT is kind of the origin story for, you know, a digital file or a piece of artwork. And as I'm looking at this, there's so much story in this just from looking at this creature, from all the symbolism of your man symbolism to all the other things around it. Like, tell me about like what inspired you to create this? What's the vision for this? Like, where do you see this going?
Okay, so about 3 years ago, I decided randomly to draw a set of aliens. Now, these aliens were all, it was just a sketch series that I started to do. And they had nothing to do with NFTs at the time. I just wanted to draw a set of aliens. Now, the aliens were all based around, it's not wacky, crazy concept artist style aliens, but they were all based around aliens that had actually been described. You know, realistic descriptions of aliens out there. Now, I was thinking about recently about coming up with a new set of NFTs based around the new Onemint idea of, you know, how to generate NFTs that, you know, people, collectors themselves could actually change elements on. So I was thinking, well, I've got a couple of ideas that I'm always working on. Fernando will tell you I've got a couple of ideas at the moment that I've kind of shown him that I've kind of got here, there, and everywhere. So I decided what could I do? So I decided to dig out these couple of sketches that I'd gotten, and I had, I think, 6 alien heads. And funnily enough, the way that I'd drawn them was roughly the same way that I'd work on an NFT anywhere. So everything kind of lined up. You know, all the eyes were in the same places, all the mouths were in the same places, roughly anyway. They didn't need much tweaking to turn into an NFT. I just needed to draw a lot more elements. Yeah. But I didn't want to do anything too crazy to the idea of what people had actually described from their real encounters. And to me, that goes into what I actually want to do with this NFT, which is I want to invite people who purchase them to come into a Discord and to maybe swap real alien stories.
That's awesome. That's a great idea.
To create more of a community there around these pieces.
They're mesmerizing. I'm watching this one clip where it's animated between a whole bunch of different ones, and first of all, some of them are extremely scary. Like, just like, and that's the thing, is all you're showing is just the head and then the eyes, and wow,
there's only five base heads.
Okay.
So all of them that you can see are basically 5 heads with extra elements. So they go between some really dopey looking ones to some really scary looking ones.
Yeah, no, some of them are like very creative, and some of them are like, oh my God, if this was my alien encounter, I would be freaked out for the rest of my life. Versus some of them like, okay, that's interesting creature. So what are some of your ideas with like using the dynamic part of Onemint? Like what kind of things could someone do once they purchase one of these?
Well, at first it started off with just changing the alien heads, as in You can do the normal thing, like, you could change the eyes up, and you can change the, give them a different mouth. There is one in there, it's a bit like a predator mouth.
Yeah, there is one that looks just like Predator. Yes.
um but then part of me changed it up and said, do you know what, I want to do a bit more with the background. At first there was no color in there at all. At first they were just black and white, and I kind of love that. There's part of me that really likes them in black and white, but I know a lot of people will be they want color, just
Yeah.
because they've been spoiled so much by NFTs. There's that kind of relationship between NFTs and the fact that how bright and colorful they are. A lot of people will be expecting that. So
Yeah,
so the backgrounds now, a lot of people will be able to and be wanting to really jazz up those backgrounds, and those backgrounds will be a lot more changeable than you'd first assume they are. There's so many elements in the backgrounds that you can change. For instance, you can see the different things in the backgrounds. Each quarter of the background can be changed individually. So the kind of top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right can be changed individually, and then you'll be able to pick the colored circle if you want a colored circle at all.
Yes, some of the detail you put on here, the color almost makes it stand out better because the contrast, like, it's, man, some of these are so creepy. I'm gonna maybe include this little animated thing, Fernando, you sent me. It's like looks like it's a GIF running through a whole bunch of different ones.
That's there's
great.
an animated GIF that runs through 68 different variations.
I'm gonna have nightmares about this.
No, some of them are really cute looking. Some of
them are. It's funny. My wife watches these documentaries on this stuff all the time about aliens and are there aliens.
I'm obsessed. There's not a single one I haven't seen.
And there's so many interesting theories. Like, here's one of my theories is, what if it's us from the future? Like, somehow, like, we figured out time travel and we're coming back.
That is a good one. But why wouldn't we just talk to ourselves about it? Or if we have.
I have no idea. Maybe it's so far in the future that we've mutated into whatever this is. And here's something else about aliens too, is, they're always spotted close to Earth, but has every one of those long satellites ever seen a craft out there or something unidentified?
But that's what people are saying they have.
Oh, they have, and they just said they won't show us. Interesting.
No, there's one which is really good footage of an asteroid, and then it just turns like that. Yeah, that's really creepy.
That is footage. Okay, that is creepy. I got to go find that. That's interesting. Very cool. Now, when did you first come across Onemint? I know you also created their the Genesis collection for Onemint, which is, Fernando, you could probably talk about that a little bit. But how did you guys first come across each other?
Well, we were actually on the lookout for an artist, with experience to kind of help us out build the artwork for our dynamic marketplace and the dynamic NFTs. We wanted to give it an original touch, and more so, we wanted to focus on the actual artist behind and not so much on the artwork. Because by the end of the day, we just want to showcase all the functionalities of our platform through an actual collection. So we started looking. That's when we came across Lawrence, and we saw all of the experience that he has on the tech industry, and more so as an artist. Like, when I started seeing all the stuff that he does, I mean, you see now this alien collection, but I remember seeing one of Lawrence's artwork that kind of portraits the royal family in a very monsterish way, and you can see, like, in every single millimeter of the piece, you see a symbolism. I was absolutely mind blown. Which I hope you actually start making these monster royal families as NFTs as well, because I'm surely gonna buy into that.
I should Fernando this. I got a set of images. There's just 4 images that I've done. I did them a year or so ago, and I want to sell them in those images as an, but I'm not going to do that for
What a hype generator, man. I wanted that. I would never.
no one, and no one has seen. Only about 4 people have seen them.
Yeah.
They're
It's
not on my
crazy.
site.
It's
Nobody's
crazy
seen
when
them.
you draw them. When you draw them, you actually draw them as if you were drawing on an actual huge canvas, right?
Yeah. I mean, those and these alien ones, the original artwork size is 42 inches at 300 DPI. So you think they can be printed off that big originally?
Yeah, it's huge.
The amount of details is just incredible.
What is your main? This is all digital, right? Like, is all your art?
Yeah.
What kind of tools do you use? I know that when I dig into your site, you're reviewing all kind of stuff, but what's your go-to like tool that you like to use?
Well, the drawing tablet I have right in front of me now is a 32-inch Wacom Cintiq. I use that because it's the largest drawing tablet in the world.
Nice.
If somebody invents a bigger one, I'll use that. You know, that's a nice challenge to all the drawing companies out there, like XP Pen, Huion, everybody else. To be honest, everybody pretty much has the same technology now. So I use Lenovo computers. My studio is so packed out with everything. I'm not kidding. But yeah, I just use anything and everything I can get my grubby little hands on, to be fair.
That's awesome. When did you first start doing this? Like, were you drawing as a kid? Like, did you just
We all draw as kids.
Well, that's a good
The
point.
only difference is some of us just don't stop.
That's a very good point. We all do. We all try to express, and we have that creativity. Well, tell me about your journey. Like, where did it go? Like, you drew as a kid, and then what happened next?
Yeah, I just didn't stop. I never got interested in anything else. You know, I never considered myself as. Say again.
Do you think when we grow up we kind of lose that? I mean, most mortal people.
Yeah, most people just go off into sports, or you know, find something else that interests them. I just didn't. Yeah. I was the quiet kid who just stayed in his room and sat drawing. I remember being about 6 and just copying Da Vinci books. Like I literally remember copying noses, sitting there drawing, copying noses, and my mum's friends going, "Wow, he's good." I'm like, just copying.
That's funny. Some of these alien drawings have kind of that Da Vinci feel to it. Like when I've seen his drawings of like different, helicopters or like cannon things that he was trying to explain. Like it has that
now that you
architectural.
I suppose I've never thought about it, but yeah, I suppose
it's a cool effect. Like these things they're fascinating. Like
I was trying to go for the kind of casebook feeling.
That's exactly. Yep.
But yeah, I suppose if I'd have done them on yellow paper rather than gray, then it definitely would have had more of a Da Vinci feel.
For sure. So have you done a collection? Like, do you have a collection out there, or is this going to be one of your first collections?
This is actually the first collection I'll be doing by myself.
Okay.
But I've done collections in the past with other people.
Okay.
I recently finished one called which was all about swords.
Nice.
For a Viking NFT, which people can go and pick up, and it is literally I sent you some pictures of those if you want to go and see them. And they're all literally different swords. The way I did those was by making like 20 variations of the blade, 20 variations of the guard, the handle, and the pommel on the end. But they have a very similar style to the aliens. So, all my NFTs kind of feel the same, which I kind of like.
I actually have a question on that point. Do you have a pre-made creative process that you kind of follow, or is every project made and thought of in a specific way?
Everyone's different. But then again, as an artist, I don't tend to work to a process, which I think it's very unique for me as an artist. But that's because because I'm a tech guy, because I do a lot of beta testing and UX research, I always work in a different way to try and find new problems and, to try and look at things from a different way of working. I try and come at things from different angles all the time. I quite often use multiple different pieces of software. One day I'll be working in Corel Painter, one day I'll be working in Photoshop, one day I'll be working in something else completely. I think many digital artists just keep going through the same kind of pattern over and over again. And it's great because it gives you your look and feel.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't do that as an artist. And if you look at the Genesis NFTs that I did with Onemint, you can see how different they are. I mean, they're vector pieces, and they do look very different to the Alien.
You're very good at that. Like I wouldn't even know it was the same artist, like at all, which is a great skill to have, to be a chameleon like that, where you dive into the project. And this Onemint Genesis is really cool. What was kind of the inspiration behind this?
Well, Onemint really knew what they wanted in terms of style.
Very cool. Fernando, what exactly will people be able to buy these? Like when you guys come out, this will be one of like the first demo of the dynamic NFTs working. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, we're actually in fact working with a couple of collections that are going to be the first early bird collections that are going to be beta testing our dynamic marketplace. And yeah, just like Lawrence just said, and the whole idea of creating this collection was to actually showcase the power of our platform, not just for the NFT creation itself and the dynamic NFT creation, but to kind of showcase the usability and just getting those dynamic NFTs. We see that it's gonna be a game changer. Absolutely. Like we can talk about our Genesis collection, but for example, we can do the same with Lawrence collection that is targeting a very specific niche, which is like people who are into aliens and so forth. And through the experience of creating and generating dynamic NFTs with interchangeable traits and add-ons, the users can kind of create their own character based on how they want it to look, which is absolutely amazing because it opens up a storytelling funnel that allows users to interact with the project in a more personal level, in a more talking about projections, right? I want this character to be like this because it either reflects how I look or what I think or and so on, right? It kind of gives the user that interchangeable dynamic experience, which is going to pave the way to many things.
I think that's going to mean a lot as well, especially when it comes to PFPs. Over the next few years, if people are using these as profile pictures, then yeah, that especially is going to make a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when we start to add functionalities and post minting utilities for the token owners, that's when it gets interesting, because not only you're bringing a user experience, but you're also bringing a utility for the owners to, whoever is owner of one of these NFTs are able to access special benefits and even earn rewards and so forth. Obviously, everything is on our website or even on each one of our beta testers, you can find their roadmap as well. But yeah, I'm actually really excited for this. It's a true game changer.
Think about if I bring out this NFT in September, but then by October I decide to release a load of Halloween themed additions to it for people to then go and purchase.
Yeah,
and then at Christmas I go and release, like, I wouldn't do it myself, but
yeah,
I release Santa hats and Christmas themed stuff for the aliens.
So the way the technology works is you've got this NFT that you've purchased, and then these new features or variations come out. You then purchase those separately, and you can then modify your existing NFT.
Yeah, you
Because
can
that's
add
kind of
bits
how it
on to
works.
them and then take them off, and so you could give them a beard for, what is it? There's a beard thing in November, isn't there? And you know,
Oh, that's right. It's
Yeah, it's funny. There's one that looks like
Movember.
ET.
yeah, something like
Just
that. Yeah,
imagine ET with a beard. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
give them
funny.
bunny ears in February for
sure.
Easter.
So do you remint the NFT at that point? So now it's back on the blockchain and you can sell it the way it is. Let's say if they're sellable, that's kind of how it
Yeah.
works. Yeah, it is, like you said, such a game changer to be able to add this new interactivity, and it's even further storytelling, because then you're part of the story now, where you created that NFT that went on to become, the next
Yeah.
big whatever.
I mean, I honestly believe that NFTs are a lot like comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, for the last year or two, everybody's gone mad and just made a load of NFTs. There's so much rubbish out there. I mean, absolute garbage. As a professional artist, I mean, I look at 90% of it and it's horrific to look at. It burns my eyes out to see the amount of trash that's out there. But I'm sorry, you know who you are. But I look at the stuff out there, but it's like comic books. In another 10 years' time, all those people who were fortunate enough to collect those Spider-Man issue ones, they're gonna want to keep those Spider-Man 236s. I don't know what issue numbers, but the ones where the first appearance of Venom or the first appearance of the Green Goblin, they're gonna keep those because they're worth something. But some randomly drawn comic book that means absolutely nothing, that they might have spent $10 to buy, is now worth 0 point nothing. They're not even going to want that clogging up their wallet. They're going to get rid of that NFT.
Yeah.
Lots of people are going to own lots of NFTs that are not worth anything anymore and are really badly drawn, and they're going to end up just deleting them.
Yeah. Well, we've kind of gone through that, where there was a little bit of a gold rush where everybody was making, like you said, all this crap, and everybody was speculating and buying and hyping. And now it's like, this happens a lot in the industry. You have this boom and then it kind of levels out, and then the true talent and the true quality starts, to raise to the surface. What do you see the future of NFTs? Like, where do you see things going?
Well, for me, I mean, everybody's talking about the utility of NFTs at the moment. And I get the idea and I kind of like it. But then as an artist, I also want to say that I don't believe that NFTs truly need to always have utility. I like the idea of NFTs as NFTs. I think they can survive without utility as long as the artwork is good enough. I think that's fine. I think that's acceptable.
Yeah.
But if they can have utility as well as great artwork, then fantastic. Then you're on to a winner.
Yeah. I think there's a natural thing that happens, which is community. That's one of the best utilities. And I can see in your collection that's going to happen, because as we were talking about, and we've already shared our own stories and our own thoughts and beliefs of aliens. So community it's just a byproduct of something, which happens with everything. Someone loves Star Wars, loves Marvel, whatever it is. But yeah, the quality you've created is incredible. And first of all, they're mesmerizing. As I have this animation going off to the side, and it's like hypnotic as I look at it. Every one of these characters has a story behind it, and you can see that. And that, I think, is what is the most powerful utility of any artwork, that something in you is moved or thought or imagined. And I think
I'm already obsessed myself with aliens.
It's perfect. So are a lot of people too. This will be massive. So we got to make sure we're on that white list.
I'll be putting in quite a few of my own stories. So
There you go.
I can already imagine like what's it going to be like, because I can see like people getting one of these aliens and kind of like developing further the story. Like, what's your thought? What's your plan with, you know, like token holders that get one of these aliens? Because I know it's going to be niche specific, right? And what are your thoughts?
I really want it to be about whoever gets one, you know, come and tell a story on the Discord. Tell us their, you know, tell us their story, tell us their beliefs, you know, and they can personalize their NFT to that story.
I can already see people on the Discord server just sharing these footages of, you know, like aliens, which sometimes it kind of drives me crazy because we got all this, you know, like camera equipment and everybody just even taking shots of the sky at night with different stars and whatnot. But what's the matter that with these alien videos, that every time something that comes out is just filmed with such a bad quality, man? Everything is so pixelated. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, but even if you get like pictures from the government, even those are really grainy quality. And
It seems like those are always grainy. It's like they take the high def version and they're like, no, this is what we're giving the public. The
like the
pixelated
stuff they officially released, you know, previous year, where they, you know, the stuff where they actually what was it, like from their F-16s or whatever, they actually had the drone footage.
Yeah.
The stuff they officially released, that was
Yeah.
still grainy as hell.
Oh, it's so grainy. I know.
Nah, but it would be great if, you know, if people make a really scary alien up on the NFT and then they made a really scary alien story. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
No,
But on the other hand, if somebody actually has their own real life encounter story, a genuine encounter story, and then they are actually able to make something on the NFT that actually resembles what they actually encountered, that would be great, because I have made everything in there based on, you know, what people have actually claimed to have seen.
That's incredible.
So people should be able to do that. The
Almost
5
like
base heads are, you know, the most basic encounter aliens.
almost like a police sketch.
Yeah,
Where they could go back in their subconscious or their memory and be like, okay, this is what it looked like.
exactly.
You might freak some people out. I mean, they're gonna
Well,
awaken the
people might
memory
freak
they
us
wanted
out.
to forget.
Some people might freak us out.
That's without a doubt. Without a doubt, I'm sure that's
Imagine
gonna
that you
happen.
start to get the same story pop up like 5 times.
That would be.
It's going to be interesting, man.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna inspire a lot of creative stuff. Just and like you said, true origin stories of things that we have no idea. And you're putting a picture to it, which is probably the most beautiful thing about art, is putting pictures to thoughts and dreams and visions that others have that just don't have that ability.
Yeah.
You're one of those artists that has that gift.
But
And,
we're gonna have the NFT is basically done now. Need a little bit of tweaking, but that'll be done in a couple of days. We're just setting up the Discord now. Yeah, that'll be done. That'll be done very soon as well, or at least will be up for people to sign up to.
how do people find this? Like, where do they go? Like, how are you presenting yourself like on the web and stuff?
Well, I'll let Fernando take over from here.
Yeah, we're actually helping Lawrence out on the technicalities of using the platform and so forth. So actually, he's got a community pass that allows him on our platform to create a specific landing page where you can go in and mint. And when it gets launched, that you can get whitelisted and participate in a raffle, to access and to access a wait list and be early into the project. The beautiful part of it is that everything is just powered by Onemint and the blockchain. Like, you could just go in and create your project from scratch and give all these functionalities, deploy the smart contracts for the dynamism, create your own raffle page, and connect your Discord and Twitter page to kind of, organize your community and kind of to take forward the project with the most easiness that can be generated. So yeah, on the technical side of things, we're already working on that, and you're probably going to find in the description like a link to check out his work and sign up on the whitelist page as well. But yeah, I'm really excited on this project, man, because we're probably gonna give a sneak peek, like a teaser type of the artwork that he's made, because like, man, like, yeah, like I can see you watching that GIF going over and over, and it's already in my head. I can see all these alien heads, and I can already go imagine myself going into the platform and kind of like playing around with the traits and seeing like, oh, look at these eyes or this mouth or this head. There's one that I love that has like the Predator, like Alien versus Predator movie, that has kind of like this type of mask mouth creepy stuff. I know people are gonna see it.
It doesn't look so close for copyright infringement purposes, though.
No,
yeah,
not at all. It just it just looks like it totally looks like it's inspired by.
It's mandibles. It's mandibles.
It's mandibles. Yes. Exactly. Alien mandibles.
It's beyond. Some of these are so scary. It's crazy. Some of them are sort of cute, but man. Awesome. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, make sure you go to our YouTube, and we'll put that link. So as soon as you guys have that domain or however you're going to do that, we'll make sure.
It'll be done before the podcast even goes live. So if you're watching us now, there's a link in the description, I'm sure.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, Fernando, anything else that we need to discuss since we got Lawrence here? I mean, this has been great.
Anything you want to ask? Go ahead.
Really great. To be honest, I'm personally really excited on getting that collection live, because you can see like a niche is going to be being built around, like an NFT backed project. And when people start seeing, like a Lawrence art, I think they're gonna start seeing the value of art being backed by the blockchain, because I can't wait for it to go live, man.
I've got another NFT collection that I'm working on that's kind of halfway through. I was halfway through that before I even started on this one, but I kind of put it to the side to work on this one. Fernando's seen that as well, haven't you?
Yeah, man.
That was a bit more complex, so I stopped working on that to work on this. But yeah, that one's kind of a futuristic soldier one.
Very cool.
But it was way more complex, so I had to stop working on it. Give my head a break. But that one will be coming out after this one. So if you like this one, then when this one's done, stay tuned and we'll get that one ready as well.
Awesome. So when roughly is the Alien thing going to launch? In September? Is that kind of the idea? Okay, yeah. Awesome. Very cool. Is there going to be a limit? Like, are you limiting to how many aliens are going to be purchased the first time through, or how will that work?
Nothing's been set yet, so I'll stay quiet on that.
Okay. Very cool. This has been awesome. How do we find you? What's the best way? I know that on YouTube, you brand yourself as Lawrence Can Draw.
Yeah, at Lawrence Can Draw is my handle pretty much everywhere. My website is lawrencemann.co.uk.
Yep, with 2 N's, don't forget.
Always 2 N's. And Lawrence with a W, proper way.
Very cool. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Fernando. Thank you, Lawrence, for being on the show. This has been, I can't wait to get a hold of these. So this is awesome.
Thanks, Travis.
Thanks for having us, Travis. Amazing, like always.
Awesome, guys. Thank you for listening, watching. Make sure you go to the YouTube and you check this out because you want to get on that whitelist right away. This episode of the Web3 Show is brought to you by Onemint. Make sure you visit onemint.io to see all the amazing technology they're developing.